Welcome to the Kim B. Davis Show. Here we'll talk to the leaders in technology, culture, business, and the arts. We'll cover politics, advocacy, motherhood, writing, mental health, and mostly we'll focus on hope. Join Kim B. Davis, author, playwright, radio personality, event consultant, professional speaker on the Kim B. Davis Show.
Good evening and welcome to the Kim B. Davis Show. I'm your host, Kim B. Davis, and this evening we have one of our favorite guests, Mr. Eric Harp, our certified professional fitness trainer, and he's going to talk to us this evening about staying in shape when the weather cools down. Good evening, Mr. Harp. How are you?
Well, Mr. Davis, it is always a pleasure being with you. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am great. So you know how we do. Let's get right to it. We got to talk current topics. So we have lots to talk about. So I got to share because Southwest Airlines, I don't know if you heard, they had this little thing over the weekend where they canceled over 2,000 flights.
Oh, yeah.
So I was on vacation for a mini girls trip for a birthday celebration. It was in Albany, New York. Was at the gate already. I was number 4. I was so excited. I was like, I'm in business seating. I'm good. And no lie, the little guy at the ticket counter who, you know, right before you board goes, well, we're getting ready to start boarding. We're just waiting for the crew to show up. We saw the pilot check in. We saw him with his bags. We saw our plane. And we were like, okay, Southwest Airlines, it's a great day. 15 minutes later, all right, folks, the crew is a little bit late. We're just waiting for them to get here. Hopefully they'll be here soon. Just be patient. Wow. Another 15 minutes. Well, I got to go over to the other terminal because I think that's where they are. And we got to go get them to bring them back over here.
The microphone?
Yes, on the microphone. On the microphone, Eric. And I have worked in communications and PR, on political campaigns, all different types of things, damage control and nonprofits. And I understand that there are certain things that you don't say. And I was so wait. So you know, I had to be the one to ask the question. So we had a full flight. It was probably 200 people on this flight. And I said, so what happens if you can't find them? What happens if they don't show up? And the little guy picked up his microphone. I'm not authorized to answer that question.
On the microphone.
On the microphone. He didn't walk over to me because I was right there. Like I said, I was number 4. I was in my spot. 15 minutes later, they came back and said, listen, guys, we don't know where the crew is. We know they're not on another flight. They're staying here locally. We're like, wow. So everybody got nervous.
The
microphone. Yes. In Albany, New York. We were in Albany, New York. If you've never been there, it is a small
it's a small airport. Yeah, a big airport.
The millionaire. Okay. So you know the Millionaire Airport is right next door where the private planes are, the small planes that come in. So then 15 minutes later, folks, I'm sorry to say, the crew's not here. We have to cancel the flight. Chaos. Because everybody at this point is like, okay, so you see everybody pick up their phones. They just canceled our flight. What are we going to do? No flights out of Albany back to Detroit were available that day. The soonest, because as soon as they said that they canceled my flight, 1-800 Southwest Airlines was calling me. I picked up my phone and started talking to them. I said, listen, I will fly to Orlando. I just need to get back to Detroit tonight. They said there's nothing available. And the lady said, and even if I could put you on a flight like that, I don't have the authority to do that. You've got to go over to the ticket desk or the desk that's physically located in the airport. Then she said, we've already booked you. So wait, Eric, they had me flying to Chicago. So this is Monday. I had the first flight out at 10:30 a.m. I was at the airport at 8:30.
I'm sure you got to check in.
I got to check in. I left the resort where we were staying. I could have slept in. I could have had breakfast with my friends before we left. All kinds of things. But I got there on time, got through security because it was busy. It was Indigenous Peoples Weekend / Columbus Day weekend, however you identify or celebrate. And the airport was packed, albeit it is small. The 800 lady told me, well, we'll fly you into Chicago tomorrow at 7. And then you'll have another layover in Chicago until Wednesday, where we'll fly you out again at 7 to Detroit. I said, that is unacceptable. I need to get home tonight. I have children. I have children. I have a husband who has to go back to work. I said,
I know.
I said, I'm like, we cannot do this. What are you doing? So then I looked at the line and I was just like, oh, I got to sit here with another 150 people or 200 people and wait to talk to somebody. 90 minutes later, and I'm on the phone with my husband who's looking for flights, my friends at the resort, because I started texting them because there was a few other people who had Southwest flights. I said, look, my flight just got canceled. I said, and we were all checking and they kept saying everything was good. I said, so you better check. I said, I don't know who to check with. I said, but just be careful. So then everybody got nervous. Well, Kim, what can we do? I said, look for flights. I said, I have to get out of here today. No lie. The carrier that is, and I won't say their name, but the carrier that's underneath Southwest was $350. There was a yes.
Ooh,
yes.
That's 3 times a Southwest ticket.
Exactly. Exactly. There was another carrier. I will not call their name. Ticket was, wait for it, $1,000.
From Albany to New York. From Albany, New York to Detroit.
Yes. All
you gotta do is fly over the Great Lakes.
Exactly. It was $1,000. A train ticket, we looked at train tickets, was $550. Price gouging. It was like everybody knew that this was happening, and I was stuck. And I looked around and I saw families. I saw older people. I saw people upset because they were missing weddings. They were missing funerals.
Life.
Life. People were like, I'm missing my connecting flight. I have to get back home, or I'm trying to get wherever I am. And Southwest was no help. Finally found a flight out of Logan International, which is in Boston. Now, I was in Lenox, Massachusetts, which is 2 hours away from Boston. And Albany, New York is right at the border of New York and Massachusetts. And that's 55 minutes away from where I was. So I was 3 hours away from Boston. And I went, am I going to have to take a Lyft or an Uber and pay additional money, including the new plane ticket that I would have to pay for to get home? Thankfully, by the grace of God, my best friend lives in Boston. Everybody, because she was still getting services, she was having spot services on the last day we were there. And so she called me before I got a chance to call her. And she said, do I need to come get you? I said, maybe. Can you? I don't know. And she says, okay, Kim, let's take a deep breath. I know you stressed. I said, I am, because right now, I said, I'm just all over the place. And so, right.
You gotta be.
And I said, I'm just trying to get a flight. I said, right now, nothing is looking good. I said, I see this one flight out of Boston. I said, I was trying to figure out if she could legitimately come get me, or if it was easier for me to get transportation and go back to her. Thankfully, where we were, Canyon Ranch, Lenox, Massachusetts, I will call them out by name. They were wonderful. They sent a car back for me, and I was able to get back to her and travel back to Boston, hang out with my bestie for a day, and fly out the next day. But I got the last seat on that flight, Eric. And what was interesting, when I checked in for my flight, they were looking for volunteers to give up their seat, number one. Number two, they said, we have so many people flying because the flight is full. We don't have enough room for carry-on luggage. Please volunteer to check your luggage. I was like, I will check it. Just give me my ticket. I have a seat. I need to get home.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But can you make sense of that? I never experienced that before.
Well, you have a personal story, and it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these walkouts, what you're having is just evidence of more stupidity. People who want to fight a mandate rather than fight a disease.
Right.
They want to fight over you telling me what to do other than saving my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, making heads or tails of that, that's a debate that's going to go on for a long time. Is you can't tell what's in somebody's head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what makes someone not take a vaccine?
Right.
Now, hey, okay, I get it. You never had it. Maybe it's not on your radar.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a pandemic. Now, the flu's been around for a long time. There's a lot of people who haven't had the flu. The flu was a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who get the flu today without a flu shot, and it's a serious cold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, there are people who still die from the flu. There's no mistake about that.
Mm-hmm.
But the flu has dwindled down to a serious cold.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a serious cold.
Mm-hmm.
And people get flu shots, and those are susceptible to get the flu can wipe them out.
Right.
With underlying conditions, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
wipe them out.
Mm-hmm.
And so this COVID-19, ooh, if you get the flu shot, why would you not get the COVID shot?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you go, you know, if I'm gonna get the small, why not get the whole meal? You gonna offer me the whole meal for the same price?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I can go get a burger for $1, but dang, I can get the whole meal for $1. Give me the whole meal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand that one. You know, and the people that do it,
Mm-hmm.
the people that are doing it, the level in society of the people that do it. And it trickles down, you know, it trickles down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. So when you hear people like the luggage carriers and the and a lot of it might be unions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where the flight attendants union, the luggage, you know, people who work at the different positions at the airports,
Mm-hmm.
and they walk out.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the pilot go in.
Right.
Well, you know, hey, pilot may be able to fly the plane, but he ain't Superman. He ain't gonna do all the pre-checks. You know, he ain't gonna stick the dipstick in the oil and make sure that it's on the right level. He ain't lifting up the hood.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, he not loading up the plane with the luggage and flying it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And serving drinks and making sure people stay in.
You know what? And asking y'all to please be patient while I get you where you're going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's horrible. And it went on all over the nation.
Mm-hmm. It did.
All over the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on top of that, as horrible as it is, come on, the way it got politicized.
Yeah.
The way it got politicized now.
Yeah.
It's now Southwest Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
Old Sleepy Joe, you know, can't keep this and can't keep that.
Mm-hmm.
But what it comes down to is mandates.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Mandates are mandates. We get mandated for a lot of different things, but it's this particular mandate people want to hang their hat on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people want to die over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are willing to lose their entire careers over.
Mm-hmm.
People who are willing to lose the families, livelihoods, whatever it might be, just for this 2 stomps of their feet and saying no.
Exactly.
And I'm working with kids, watching this attitude and then seeing it with adults. And it's just like, wait a minute.
Right.
Dude, what you stomping your feet for?
Mm-hmm.
What you folding your arms for? Be like, no. What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Come on. It's basketball tip-off season tonight.
It sure is.
Tonight.
Yes.
The Brooklyn Nets are playing the championship Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a feature game. It's a lot of other games, but it's a feature game tonight where the with the Milwaukee Bucks, who just fresh off a championship, and the Brooklyn Nets with the all-star caliber team.
Right.
Ooh. But they minus somebody.
That's
they
right.
They won't have one of their stars.
And why, Eric? Won't they have one of their... And why is he not playing? Why is he not playing?
Because he is hanging his hat on this mandate.
Yes.
Now he's a victim of a few different things. And it's unfortunate because my man makes millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. He makes so much money, there's people who will never see that in their lifetime. But he makes millions of dollars, and he's going to say, he and there are other folks like him within the same league, the NBA. First off, they're mandated within the state. It's not just a league thing. New York City, he plays in Brooklyn. New York City says, you can't play inside of an arena without a vaccination. You can't even go inside and watch the game without a vaccination. You know what? You can't work there. You can't even open the door and do nothing unless you're vaccinated. So get vaccinated. Get your money. Play with your team. Go for that championship.
Exactly.
Now what he's doing is he's letting his team down. You know, he's hurting his own self, but he's letting his team down. Now there's many anti-vaxxers, and that's crazy. Ooh, we got a label for everything.
We do, don't we?
Anti-vax. No, They make that XXX, no vax for me. But these anti-vaccination movements and grassroots, the anti-vaccination rhetoric that you hear in every piece of media that we have, these folks are killing people. You know, the next thing is natural immunity. Everybody wants to say, but what about natural immunity? I said, well, how would you know you got it? You wouldn't even know you got it. And they said, well, I've had the disease. Well, there's people who've caught it twice.
Exactly.
Just like there's people who've had vaccinations and caught it. For instance, rest in peace to Colin Powell. Colin Powell passed away yesterday.
Yes, he did.
And let's not diminish the importance of who Colin Powell is.
Oh, absolutely not.
Colin Powell was the very first Black Secretary of State.
Absolutely.
And four-star general.
That's right. Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Joint Chiefs of Staff. I mean, this guy was highly respected, highly elevated, brilliant, highly elevated in our democracy and our political system, our nation's defense. But then came something called the Iraq War.
Right.
The Iraq War, hey, whatever side of the aisle you may have been on if you were during that time, hey, the Iraq War was something that America got into, just like Afghanistan.
Exactly.
The Iraq War was something that happened. And Colin Powell was center stage. 9/11 sent that thing in motion. Right. And Colin Powell was one of the chief architects. Now, there's people who would say, oh, Colin Powell was this, Colin Powell was that. But in fact, please, let me say who said Colin Powell was this and Colin Powell was that.
I know where you going.
Our former president who just came off the seat, the 45th president, put out an op-ed. In this op-ed, he said Colin Powell was a rhino, a Republican in name only. He said bad things. He only attacked other Republicans. Colin Powell was Colin Powell this, and hey, anyway, may he rest in peace.
Right. I hope I get treated as well.
Yeah. He said, you got, I'm sorry. Please, I framed it wrong. He was saying that all of you folks, though Colin Powell was a rhino, you say nice things about him.
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump said, well, I hope you say nice things about me when I die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yes.
rest in peace.
Yes.
I'm over here like, this dude couldn't write a letter with compassion.
Not at all. Not at all.
This guy has not 1 inch, ounce, iota. Come on, let's go with smidgen.
Minute.
he ain't got a pinch of nothing. No.
Nothing. This
guy is like just rotten to the core.
Mm-hmm.
And yo, listen, you're gonna do that in life? That's one thing. You know, you're gonna disrespect somebody, but you're gonna disrespect them in death.
Right. That shows the true character. And
then disrespect the family and say, yeah, well, this guy was really just nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, hey, rest in peace.
Right. But he was well respected. Whether you agree with him or not, you respected him.
I mean,
he came from the Bronx. Right. He came from the Bronx. He came from very humble beginnings. He was Jamaican American, and he made a life for himself. He carried himself with dignity, not this crass, trashy behavior that we see. It's just amazing to me that he even had the, I mean, I get that he had the audacity, but I was just like, really? And then I was angry because I was like, why did I waste 30 seconds of my life to even read this? This is ridiculous. I know.
I mean, it's like I know we're trying to find words, and this is our gig, finding words to describe this hilarity, you know. But this man is a joke. Now, Colin Powell, I'm talking about our 45th president.
Yes. Oh, I know who you were. I didn't get it confused.
Now, well, for whoever else is listening,
right.
Colin Powell came through the military. Mm-hmm. And there's a code of ethics that comes through going through the military. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that may not touch the raw, deep down, you know, hatred, racism, and whatever. Mm-hmm. But it teaches you how to carry yourself.
It does.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, you know, this op-ed that's just, hey, brazenly out in print is for the other people to read and be like, yeah, well, I feel the same way. Mm-hmm. You know, because when we as Black people get someone like a Colin Powell who's made history, mm-hmm. a Barack Obama who's made history, a Kamala Harris who's made history, mm-hmm. in these particular positions, and like them or not, it's still history. It's groundbreaking.
It is. Mm-hmm.
And you know, there's been people who've got statues for I don't even know why. Mm-hmm. I'm like, who got names of streets for I don't know why. You know, I'm over here and they're like, who is John this? Who is John that? Who are these people? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how did they even get a name of a city?
Right.
But when it comes back to history, we're going to have to remember these things. Mm-hmm. And Colin Powell is no longer with us, and his legacy will live on. You know, everybody makes mistakes. There's no human perfect. There's no perfect human.
Right.
But still, to be disrespected in death like that, to me, was just amazing. And
it was.
To see it coming out of the mouths of our presidents. Now, let me ask you, mm-hmm. what's going to happen with these subpoenas?
Yeah, because the committee is starting to heat up. They're investigating people, and they're like, "Ooh, we're subpoenaing this person." I was like, "Okay, well, let's see. Are people going to talk? Are people going to talk, or are they going to do a Mike Flynn and hide behind?" Because what's his name? What was his former not his press person, Steve Bannon. That's what I was trying to think of. Okay. Steve Bannon he's trying to hide behind executive privilege.
He's trying to hide behind I'm not going because Trump told me not to
Not
go.
to go. Exactly. And Trump keeps saying, it's executive privilege. It's executive privilege. You can't do anything. And I'm like, okay, so
and
we all
everybody is
thought
telling them, and everybody, I'm sure every lawyer is telling them, like, dude, that don't extend to you.
it
I mean,
doesn't.
you can't be the man sitting next to the man.
Right.
Sit next to the man.
It's the man. Exactly.
You gotta be the man.
So it
But
is going
when
to
it's
be
in trouble,
right.
when it's in trouble, everybody go down, even the driver of the car. But
Exactly.
I wasn't doing nothing.
I was just sitting there. I was driving the car. That's all I was doing.
He asked me to take him to the store. I didn't know.
I did. I didn't know he was going to rob the store. So, you know, but what's fascinating about this is the spin that gets put on it. And I'm thinking, if you were a congressman or a congresswoman and you were sitting in the tunnels, and I remember Congresswoman Dingell was saying, sitting in the tunnels, not getting any news of what's happening outside, trying to reach people and let people know that you're okay in a time of COVID where everybody did not want to wear their masks. Okay. So we have insurrectionists outside our doors, and inside the room where I am, I have people that are violating my space because they don't care about wearing a mask. So my thing is, everybody needs to remember that and focus on that. And let's get to the bottom of how this got started so you can root this out, because to let this continue to fester and grow, imagine in another 4 years if they could be successful and actually kill someone on TV.
Yeah, and that's where we're going.
It is where we're going.
I mean, we've seen death on TV. Don't get me wrong.
We have.
But when we say a riot death. See, when we talk about mass deaths during a riot, it's going to happen. But now the narrative is changing because the color of the skin of those rioters, you know, and the color of the skin of other rioters, you know, and you know, it's always been but what about Minnesota? But what about Minneapolis? But what about Chicago?
What about Detroit?
What about Detroit? Okay, you know, so valid.
Let me add this. Remember, we had a group of insurrectionists who wanted to go after our own governor in Michigan, who were trying to go. Yes, just recently, who wanted to go to her summer home, who had kidnap her and kill her and try her and kill her, execute her on national television. This is where we are in America.
Hold up. But this is a plot. Now, this kind of plot, this conspiracy, should carry with it the maximum of what conspiracy does. But it didn't happen, and it didn't come through, and it's about conspiracy. Now, I need to fall back on one thing, if you don't mind.
Yes.
We talked about Colin Powell. Colin Powell passed away, and as sad as it is, Colin Powell was 84 years old. He had cancer. He had cancer for the second time. He had other health issues. Underlying issues. So though he was vaccinated, his immune system was compromised, and he caught COVID-19. Now, it's amazing to me is how when some pundits want to say that the number of deaths aren't really true, because if you died from a broken bone, they're going to call it COVID.
Right. I keep hearing that.
People say that. You'll hear people say that. You know, they died of, in a car accident, but yet they're going to say it's COVID just so they can boost their numbers up.
Exactly.
And then on the other side, you hear a person like a Colin Powell who caught COVID, and now it's, this is why you don't need to get a vaccination. You see, this is why they don't know what they're talking about. And so, you know, it becomes a whirlwind of misinformation again. You know, and again, I pray for the family. You know, it's a sad time. He is one of America's heroes, but to be under this kind of under this kind of spotlight, you know, for, see, I told you, even people like Colin Powell can't get it right.
Right.
I'm like, can't get it right? What's that mean?
Exactly. He had multiple myeloma. It's a blood cancer. And as you said, it was the second time. That means he was going through radiation and treatment. And anyone who's ever gone through any type of cancer treatment, I don't care if it's breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, kidney cancer, leukemia, whatever it is, it weakens your immune system, which is why prior to COVID-19, if you ever saw people wearing surgical masks or medical masks, they were usually people going through treatment because they were susceptible to nothing. They couldn't catch a cold because a cold could turn into pneumonia. And that could cause a whole new set of problems for them because they're immune compromised.
Hey, I got my vaccination and I'm about to get a booster as soon as it's available for me.
Very good.
However, I got asthma. I got the kind of asthma that a regular cold would turn into something real, bronchitis, into some kind of this, come down to that. So I know a little bit about this immune compromise for myself. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't, oh my goodness. Why would I take that chance?
Exactly.
Now that's for me. You know, I'm not everybody, everybody's not me. But that's why I can't understand this anti-vaccination ideology. You know, I can't understand this. You better not tell me what to do. They wear that seatbelt.
Right. That's right. Or you gonna get a ticket. Okay, I'm putting my seatbelt on.
Right.
But I won't go get a shot.
You better not take that without permission or buying it. You better not. So we got mandates, laws, rules, and everything. People just choosing to fight their battles.
They are.
And it's a sad thing.
It is. Okay, so I got to pivot a little bit. So we were just talking about people that are immune compromised, people who are struggling with their health. And so, you know, we're all trying to be healthy. The weather is turning a little bit cooler. And I don't know about you, Mr. Harp, but when the fall comes and it starts to get darker earlier and it's cold, all I want to do is get under my blanket, have me a hot bowl of stew or some soup. That's right. And go to sleep.
Oh, after work, it's dark.
It is. I don't want to go on my walk.
To work, it's dark.
It is. So how?
Hey, listen, when you're where we're from,
yes,
it gets cold.
It does.
The snow hits the ground.
The air hurts our face.
You got to start your car 20 minutes. Let it run for 20 minutes before you get in and drive away.
You do.
Some people, I used to, go start the car, then go get ready.
Yep, let your car heat up. So when you go out to the car, you like, oh, thank you.
Yes. Oh, this is good. The windows nice and defrosted.
Exactly, because it takes a minute in Michigan, man. You know, somebody was joking and they said, why do I live in a place where the air hurts my face? I said, yeah, Michigan, it is cold, but it's colder in other places. Yeah. So when I was in New England, I was like, oh, this is far north. And my girlfriend, we were talking about winter, and I said, yeah, this isn't Michigan winter. This is a different kind of a winter. It was warm there, but I just remember stories, and I was like, okay, I got to experience the New England winter. It'll probably be one of those things where I'm like, ooh, the air hurts my face here. This is too cold.
I did a Wisconsin winter, an Iowa winter, and I was like, ooh. I thought it was bad. I like, all these waters off the Great Lakes is cold, you know. Yeah. That water off that flat land. It's like, where the mountains to break this up?
So how do we stay focused when we're like, okay, I gotta go for my walk, I have to go for my run? How do we stay focused?
For one, it's tough. It's tough. There's no lie. Hopefully, if we've established some habits during the course of the year. It's about bundling up. Put that scarf around your neck, put that hat on and cover up your ears. If you're a jogger, you know, you put on a little heavier coat, but you're gonna jog and you're gonna warm up. Okay. There's materials that you can get to wipe sweat or whisk moisture away from your body, so you don't feel the effects of the cold like that, windbreakers and things. So there are materials that'll help. If you're into that and have that habit, that's a beautiful thing. My suggestion, find an indoor place. Find an indoor place like a gym. There's gyms of various sizes. There's gyms so small, no one will know you're there. There's gyms so big, nobody will know you're there. And so get on the treadmill and walk it out. Get on the bike and ride it out. Put those headphones on with those 2-tap sound boosting headphones on, the latest thing, and do your thing. Ride that bike and ride that treadmill, that elliptical, that Stairmaster, that stair climber. Come on, all the brands, all the names. Find something. If you have something in your house, I mean, some of us have the means to have a Peloton or have the means to have some other form of exercise equipment, but don't let it be a coat rack. Right. Use it. Blow that dust off of it, move those jackets, and come on, turn it on and use it. Put on a nice game in front of you if you're like me and like to do it in the evening. I got a little elliptical here in my house. I'll just put it on in front of the television and I'll ride. I'll climb. Got a little punching bag. It's for myself, and I'll punch it. For some people, get on out there and move around and punch things. Right? Again, if you have a pet, you got to get out. Still got to get out. I don't care what that weather is talking about. Your animals will still need to get out. Right. So walk. Get in that habit. Bundle up. Listen, I wish that there was one magic secret for everybody. It's not. However, the secret is to just keep moving. Okay? If you need to move it indoors, please move it indoors. Get down on the floor in the comfort of your own home and do those crunches. Do a plank. Get a resistance band and move it. Move it. Okay? Okay. There's things that we can do that'll help us until that 3-month cycle of the next season when the weather breaks again and we can start taking it outside. And then hopefully we have built some habits. That we've built some habits of movements, maybe some diet. All right? And once we change those attitudes and that little positivity, we can't wait. Right. Can't wait for that sun to come out. Can't wait for that snow to melt so I can get outside and put these new shoes on the pavement. You know, let my dog leash that's so long get out here while I'm pushing on the pavement. Right? And keep making it happen.
So what about for those who aren't comfortable going inside because they're still, they're nervous about COVID exposure and they work outside? What advice would you give to people who are looking to do strength training with weights? Because I know a lot of people will see weights in the store and they'll say, oh, I can do that. I'll do some arm crunches at home, maybe some leg lifts. But then they get injured and they're like, okay, well, I was doing it. I don't quite understand. And sometimes it's technique, sometimes it's your form, and you don't understand until someone teaches you.
That's true.
So what advice would you give to people before they start to strength train?
All right. Well, first off, keep it simple. Keep it simple. We don't want to, start an approach with trying to lift heavy things that we normally don't lift. Right. In many stores, they sell little 10-pound weights, little 10-pound dumbbells. Those can be challenging. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those can be challenging for, you know, for I don't care what strength you have, because you can do different exercises with them. But yes, you can do arm curls, okay? Turn it around and push it down and work the bicep. Okay. We can do flies. Flies is when we bring it out to the side. Okay. You know, when we do different exercises with the dumbbells, and we'll target certain areas, perhaps then we can move into other exercises. Now, of course, having a trainer is ideal. It can get pricey, but having a trainer is ideal.
Right.
But there are other means. There are books, there are internet, YouTube videos, and other forms of videos that you can access proper technique, that you can exercise, top exercises with dumbbells. Okay. I'd also recommend a kettlebell. Okay. Many people see these in the store and it looks like it has a handle and a big wide base. And you can find them in, you know, I'm not going to shout out certain stores you can find them in, but you can find them in 10, 15, 20 pound increments. And I would definitely say look up these kind of videos, because kettlebell swinging is very good. It's a very good exercise. You hold it between your legs and you swing it up towards your chest, and you swing it back down into you between your knees. You kind of get into a semi-squat position and widen your legs, and you swing it, and you swing it up in front of you, and then you swing it up again. It's very good exercises for your back, your shoulders. It's a great body exercise. And it's only one piece of equipment. So, you know, not to belabor the point, but home exercising doesn't have to mean cluttering up your house. It doesn't have to mean changing a whole lot. But just like you, make sure you use them. If you buy them, use them. Once you start to use them, you'll start seeing some results. Once you start seeing some results, you start wanting more results. And once you want those, you start establishing the habit. And we incorporate a little cardio, which is the walking, maybe a little running, swimming if you can. There's many different means to do it. Again, having a trainer is ideal, but if you're on your own, the trick is to keep moving. And one more thing, I know, going into a gym for beginners, it's a little mind-blowing. What do I do with all this equipment? Look at all of these people that are here that look like they know what they're doing, and I don't. Look at all of this. It's a little intimidating, that I understand. Being a regular at the gym can still be a little confusing and frustrating, because what do I do? How do I make a plan? How do I make these exercises work in order for me to get to where I need to go? Because I've been doing this particular exercise for a long time and nothing has happened. I've been doing this exercise and you guys promised me that I was going to lose this stomach. I'm like, well, you're not working on your stomach. You're doing everything but working on your stomach. However, there's a plan, there is ways, there are means, and I hope that everybody will find one. Again, trainers can be pricey, but I'm always available for questions. ericharp9@gmail.com. Holla at your boy. I'll answer what I can.
Excellent. That was an excellent way to end our podcast. Tell us where we can find you, Mr. Harp. Give us your email address again and tell us where we can find you on all social media.
Hey, listen, I am at ericharp9@gmail.com. And you can find me at Eric Harp and most of my other, but I'm also known as ESQ. So Eric Harp or ESQ. Come on, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all those things. So find me, I'm there.
Thank you, Mr. Hart, for coming on and talking to us about current topics and talking to us about how to stay in shape when the weather gets cold and the air hurts our face. Because it can be hard. I know your ears, you're like, oh, I need earmuffs, like for real. I need a hat. I need a scarf. I need a muffler.
No. People don't understand. I know some people don't understand. And hey, God bless you. But these Michigan winters are something else.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But no, thank you for coming on and always being an expert and giving us good advice on how to move forward in our fitness journey. And we hope to see you next month with another exciting topic.
Mrs. Davis, is always a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to all of your listeners, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning into the Kim B. Davis Show. You know, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but you can find me everywhere. I am Kimberly Batchelor Davis. Bachelor is spelled BATCHELOR. You can see this show on youtube.com/Kimberly Batchelor Davis. You can hear this show on Apple, Spotify, Google, and Stitcher. You can learn more about me as an author at kimbdavis.com. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope you'll tune in for the next episode. And as always, remember, be magnificent.